Hey, I think it works. I think we're live, Nikola. How's it going?
What's up, brother? How do we know for sure if it's working?
It says in my YouTube studio, it says 2 seconds and counting, so it looks like we're live.
Nice, nice,
Now
nice.
it says seven
Wow.
seconds. Okay, cool.
See, time is going. You mean you can't stop time yet? You haven't learned how
Not
to
yet.
do that yet?
Just through prayer and fasting. Yeah. So as you mentioned, I got a new backdrop because this is where when I do my prog podcast, I got album art, real vinyl albums behind me. Now I just switched it up because it's a Catholic podcast. So we're going to talk a little bit about the CVS podcast. We're going to talk about our time together, how we met, some of you know some of your favorite guests, just whatever, and what we've been up to for a year. Of course, you and I have talked several times over the past year, anyway, but they don't know that. So,
Yeah,
and there might be
yeah.
some other people maybe hanging on. Sorry, not hanging on, joining in. I got Rendez. Who is Rendez? Hey,
What up, Brendan?
who are you? Remind me because I can't remember avatars and
I have a
usernames.
feeling. I have a feeling Hale or Hallelujah will pop up.
Oh,
Remember
that
her?
would be cool.
Yeah. It was so funny. I was randomly watching William Albrecht. You know him?
You may have shared him actually with me. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
remember.
And Haley was on his channel, and he was like, "Whoa, Haley, hey, how you doing? She's a mod on every channel in the world." He goes, "She's a mod on every channel there is." He goes, "It's so funny." He goes, "She's everywhere."
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's very sweet. She's very friendly. I made a joke
Did
about
you
her.
ever in? Did you ever interview her or no? Or
I,
she would?
I've begged her many times on my
I,
knees, but she's said no.
she didn't.
I've got,
Okay.
I've got children. I've got family obligations, and I'm like, get your priorities straight, woman. So anyway, she's sweet.
Uh,
She's very sweet. But I made fun of her when Phil and I did a crazy trailer teaser thing for the Proclamation podcast. I was having fake donors giving live chat like a super donor whatever things, and I had her on there. She didn't donate any money, but she donated one decade of the rosary to us,
oh,
and
nice.
I was just being silly, and I incorporated her into that joke. But no, she's a sweet girl. I haven't really interacted with her too much, but she does. We do follow each other on X. Are you on X?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Twitter?
Okay, nope.
No. Okay.
I don't have nope. I don't have nothing. YouTube, and that's it, man.
Yeah. So
So CVS is live again. Wow. Wow. You
yeah.
shelved it and you brought her back. Nice.
Well, it's not back. It's just this is. You and I were going to talk today, and I said, "Hey, let's. It's the anniversary. It's been 1 year. Let's just do it
Let's
live and
do it.
just
Let's do it.
watch what you say because we're live.
Yep. Yep.
Don't do
No,
those.
I'm the lucky first guest back. Wow. Do I win a prize or anything?
Yeah. One decade of the rosary.
Yes. That'll work for me. Since
Very
my
good.
slothful self don't do the rosary, I'll take it.
Oh, you've
I
never.
do some Hail Marys, but I don't do the rosary lately in a
Oh,
while.
okay.
In a while, yeah, I have to do that again. You
Yeah, as
yeah.
I've complained many times, I'm not good at it. I don't do it as conscientiously as I should.
You
But
do it daily?
yeah, I do it daily. But when I have the day off, like on the weekend or whatever, I get very lazy and I don't really do it. I do.
Yeah.
I run through the mysteries sometimes. Like just do all 20 mysteries just without doing the Hail Marys, just to sort of like pay homage. But yeah, when I have the day off, usually I'm really lazy with my prayer life, which is not great. But so I hate working. But the thing about work is it regulates my prayer life. So in the morning I pray, in the evening I pray, and um, as much as I hate working, it does give that structure. Because when I have time off, I'm just so happy not to be working that I just do what I want to do, which is not great.
Hmm.
It's not a good thing. But I pray throughout the day, obviously, but I don't do as many formal fixed prayers. Like I don't do the half hour in the morning, half hour in the evening like I do at work when I'm working on a work day. So Rendez is from Spain. He's an old fan slash friend, and he says, Do you know Dr. Deep State YouTube channel? No, I don't know Dr. Deep
Me
State.
neither. No.
We can check it out, but I don't really know anyone. I don't really follow
Yeah, you mentioned that you don't really
much
watch any religious or Catholic content or
or any content
period, right?
really. Yeah, I don't really watch any
Yeah,
content at all. It's not really my thing, I'd rather be creating, and
yeah.
with the music podcast, I listen to a lot of music now, so that's fun.
So you hear that whistling? I guess they test this tornado whistle every once a week for about a few minutes. Can you hear that or no?
No.
It's kind of faint, but okay. Well, if you
Uh,
hear like a whistle or a
oh yeah, I
horn,
can hear it a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, it should turn off in a minute or so. But that's
So the Dr. Deep State YouTube channel is Catholic, he's saying, so that's cool.
oh, nice. Nice, nice.
You
Yeah,
can
I
check.
keep up with some of it, man, but gosh, a lot of it is just they're beefing with one another, then making a payback video, right? Just because he said this, now they're beefing. There's a lot of beef, man. It's stupid for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I should air my beef. I got a beef with you.
When I come down
Oh,
there one day,
my viewers just got a lot of viewers because I said tripling my income here as we speak just because I mentioned my beef with you. Um, but yeah, I just find it very petty the way people bicker and condemn each other.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
So
I know it's pretty bad. Oh, yeah. Do you know Michael Lofton?
yeah, I like him. Is he
Yeah.
doing more backbiting now?
I liked him. I mean, I liked him, and I could watch his stuff for a while, right? I can't watch him recently for some reason, but I still love and appreciate the guy because he's one of the few that defends our Pope,
Yeah.
right? And the world needs that. The Catholics needed that because there was nobody out there defending our Holy Father. So
Yeah.
plus,
Well.
have you heard about his health and his sick? He's pretty sick.
Yeah. I'm upset about that. I'm worried about that, and he took a turn for the worse, I guess, yesterday with the aspiration, which is when he's vomiting, he breathed it into his lungs, and it's not good. It's not looking too good. So I pray for him every day anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, it ain't looking too good. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. A bit tragic.
Someone messed someone mentioned what resignation or something like
Oh yeah.
he's probably calling for that just because he says
Okay.
you have to be body
Fit.
wise, you have to be there, and I can't be there no more or something, or so I don't know if that's
Okay.
gonna happen. I don't know if that's a rumor.
Uh huh.
Don't hold to it, but that's what another thing I heard about it.
Okay. Yeah, nothing would surprise me, but I guess
He's up there in age.
I guess the Rad Trads will be excited thinking about their new conservative pope that they want to get in and whatever.
Speaking of popes, I just heard the other day your Pope Michael interview.
Pope Michael.
Remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like him.
Uh,
I think he's sweet.
Wait, did you
Is he
hear?
dead?
I'm not sure. That's I was gonna say. I think I heard that. I
I
think you heard he
think
passed.
that's what I think I
Yeah,
heard like a year ago, but I'm not sure. I
yeah.
could find out. When I ask AI everything, did
Nice.
Pope Michael so-called die? Let's see what AI tells me. Pope Michael, is that his name?
Yep.
Buh, 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 buh. David Baldwin, yeah, that's it. Oh, back in 2022. Yeah. And I did reach out, to say, sorry for your loss and can I interview the next pope? And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll get back to you or keep in touch or whatever, but never happened.
Wow. Yeah. That
Small.
was funny when
Hey!
you.
Hallelujah is here.
I called it. I knew it. What up, Haley?
Thanks. She said she's going to pray a decade for you. Is that you, Nikola, or you, David? Pray for both of
I
us.
keep
Yeah,
both of
Haley.
us in mind. Yeah,
Hey,
I do
Daniel
appreciate
Drazinovich
it.
is here.
What's
Hey,
up, Daniel?
there's excuse me for typing. Link up above if you want to join the call now or later. So that's fun.
Like,
I haven't. I heard from Daniel like a couple of times, once recently, and Risto's here. Hey,
Risto, what up,
hop
brother?
on the call whenever.
Look how fast the CVS family comes back together.
Well, yeah, they're all flocking in because I said we got a beef, so
Yeah,
they want to see.
yeah.
They
We're
want to
gonna
see
handle the beef. We'll handle it, but we'll save it for the
the throwdown. Catholic versus Catholic, baby.
end. So you still set of a contest or what?
Oh yeah, I am the Pope. I'm my own Pope. Speaking of which,
Hey,
you know, when I first met Sede Picante on Twitter, I instantly liked him because he has a stupid sense of humor like I do, and he was making fun of the people that I don't like. Well, I like them, but whatever. Like Dr. Taylor Marshall and those guys. You know, anyone who's rad trad or whatever. He's making fun of the R&R people. So I instantly liked him. I had him on a couple times on the podcast, and now we're hanging out also on my prog rock podcast.
oh, nice.
He hangs out. He's been on once or twice, and
Wait. Who are you talking about?
Sede Picante.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Do you
That's
know
right.
him?
Yeah,
His
yeah.
name is
Yeah,
Michael Nod.
yeah. He's funny. He's
Michael
funny.
Nod.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
pretty funny.
He's cool. He's funny. Yep.
He's Sede Picantist,
Yep.
but you know, we don't really get into we just don't talk about church politics or whatever because I don't want to, you know, I just don't want to. And I think he likes to just hang out and have fun and whatever. And he believes what he believes and we believe what we believe and whatever, you know. So
Right. You know, it's pretty impressive though that I really appreciate how you don't want to talk about that garbage because you can hang in the game and you could even when it comes to beefing with words or arguments or whatever, you could hang and even demolish them, but you don't let that take over and you. So I appreciate that a lot about you, for real. You
well,
know,
I like
you never let that get to you and take over.
I like what St. Paul says about it. He says, yeah, I can convert you with clever arguments, but if I convert you with clever arguments, I won't be converting you to Christ. I'll be converting you to clever arguments. That's what he says somewhere, one of his letters. But Haley says, if I can get along with Sede Picante, then people should be able to get along with anyone. Yeah, so even Haley gets along with him. So you know how uptight she is. So just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. You're sweet. And yeah, I got a beef with Haley though because she never came on the podcast. So,
I know, that's right. That's right. No, why not, Haley?
kids, too many kids.
Too busy.
I tried to tell her, you know, I got 0 beautiful kids. I mean, you don't see me making cheap excuse, using them for a cheap excuse, do you? Anyway, so someone may hop on. I think they're just doing their hair, you know, getting the hair right and make it look good.
Makeup.
Get the makeup, lose some weight, do a couple of push-ups.
Missed their face, so they looked a little. Yeah.
Well, get rid of any evidence of the cigarettes that they're smoking, all that stuff. unlike you, they're ashamed of it. Unlike you.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say since again, God rest his soul, right? And I'll pray for Pope Michael, our anti-Pope Michael. Well, he knows now that he was never the Pope. But anyways, I just want to mention it was so funny because you started out the interview by asking him, "How should I address you?" And he says, "Your Holiness." He goes, and then you addressed him, but then you submitted. I mean, you told him the truth. You said, "I submit to Pope Francis" or whatever, but. He really said, like, you could call me your holiness, like it just seemed like a fantasy, right? Like,
hey, Daniel's here. Drazinovich is in the call.
What's
Hey, how
up,
you
Daniel?
doing, guys?
Long time no see.
It's great to see you guys again. I don't have my video on because I just don't look too good.
That's okay. So we
No,
don't mind. We don't
you'll
mind.
make us look bad. So we're happy you don't have your camera on.
But
Very good to hear your voice, my brother.
it's great. It's great to see you guys. You both look tremendous. God bless you.
Thank you so much. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, I'm just like you guys. I'm just trying to keep the faith. Just trying to keep the faith, brothers.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Not easy.
Yeah, these trying times, man. I mean, I've been struggling since COVID, with the faith, as I've talked about many times, and it's still a struggle for me. I mean, I had 10 or 11 years of just easy street, and then bam. Hey, Altoy PA's in the live chat. That's cool. I've had him on. I forget his real name. Tell me your real name, Altoy, if you want to. Thanks.
But like how David put it, at least we're in the hospital. We're just wandering around the waiting room, though, and moping around, but we're in at least, right?
Yeah. We're in. That's what I said, to my priest said to me at confession a couple weeks ago, whatever. He's like, look, the main thing is don't despair because you are in the Holy Spirit. You are in the church. You're coming to confession. You're coming to Mass. You're doing your prayers. So don't despair about sin. Hey, Christopher Rice. Here we go. It's a party. Haley could just hop on. I don't know why she doesn't just hop on. Hey,
She will.
Risto.
Risto, what up,
Hey.
brother?
I suddenly got a craving for tacos in the Swedish sauna.
Finish.
No, but I got a craving for Swedish sauna.
Oh, that's a low temp.
Low
You didn't
temp.
send us no tacos in the mail, Risto. Why not?
That would be interesting. Tacos by mail. That could be the next big thing.
I made tacos the other day, Christopher. Sorry to ignore my other guest, but I'll just address you since you joined the call now. I made
You hear
tacos with the
echo?
crispy. Yeah, I hear echo. Maybe you put it on headphones or something, Christopher.
Yeah, it's maybe me. Let me
it's definitely
figure out how to do it.
Or you could just shut your volume down a bit. So, I got tacos, like the extra wide ones that stand up. You can just sit them right on the table. These are like the prefab ones you buy at the grocery store. And I stuffed them full of stuff, and it was okay. It was okay. I don't think that's exactly what you have in mind when you talk about tacos, but store-bought. It was veggie.
It's okay.
It was veggie.
Are you getting echoes now?
No.
Okay. Yeah, tacos come in many different varieties, It's a way of life more than it is one dish.
They're good, though. They're good. So how's it been going? Were you surprised that we're doing the Shelviversary today? It's been a year.
A little bit. I didn't know if I expected to see my favorite YouTube show back on.
Oh my God. Phil is here in the live chat. He says this is riveting content. Yes. I wish he
What
had.
up, Phil?
I wish he had just a little bit of edge, like, some sarcasm, say something with some bite to it. But he's always just so sweet and nice, and he just tells the truth about me. It's just like, I keep telling him, like, have some edge, tell some jokes. But anyway, Phil's going to be Phil. So,
Risto, what's been new?
Boy, I don't know, like where to start. Just trying to tread water and manage being a dad and husband and child of God. Not doing so well at those things, but
How many kids you got?
4.
Nice. God
Wow.
bless. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, and they're getting
Oldest and
older now.
youngest? Yeah.
Yeah, so our third oldest is about to take his get his permit test. So I'll have 3 driving soon.
You had kids a while back. How old are you?
I forget. 47.
No, that is. Yeah, nice. You had kids when you were younger.
Yeah, sort of. We just we got married 27 and then just had kids right away. We wanted to just like get them all together. Yep.
Daniel, how you been? Good?
Yeah, I've been pretty good, but I've been definitely dealing with suffering. I've been suffering.
Oh,
Not
physical health?
not no not not personally, but I've been suffering with. Uh, I'm a I have some loved ones who had a severe drug addiction, but
Oh, oh,
but I'll tell you what, this suffering through it has really brought me closer closer to Christ, and he's actually he's actually coming out of his addiction now, which is just a miracle. But yeah,
wow.
it's been really it's been a battle. But I'll tell you what, I've been reading a lot about suffering and how it's the word I'm looking for.
Redemptive?
Yeah, redemptive.
Salvific?
Yeah. So, but hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I
Who,
I
who, who is it that has the addiction? It's a family member?
yeah,
Okay,
my son,
okay. So he must be, how old is he? Like 30s?
38,
Okay.
but he's doing good now, and I've been trying to get him. He's a Christian, and of
Yeah,
course he's a Catholic. He's a baptized Catholic, but he's just not practicing right now. But he's getting there,
okay.
getting there.
Yeah, I remember to
Baby
pray for
steps,
him.
baby steps.
Baby steps. That's right.
Yeah, addiction is a nightmare, ain't it? But there's always hope for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm really glad to see you guys again. It's like
Yeah,
I really missed you. Really missed you.
yeah, yeah. We think about you often, or at least I do. It's snowing here in Montreal. What about up there, Sudbury way, or wherever you are?
Oh, it's I'm in Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie,
It's like about minus 25 with the wind chill.
yeah.
It's
Wow.
sunny
That's
though.
Celsius, guys, in case you didn't know.
It's
Minus
yeah,
25. What is that in
and
Fahrenheit? Let's look it up.
it's like I don't know what it is Fahrenheit.
That would be uh,
Zero?
minus 13 Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
Cold, cold.
with
That's still
with a
cold.
lot of snow.
Really?
Welcome to the 51st state, babies. Phil always makes fun of me because when I type, I got my keyboard's right here by the microphone, so whenever I type, it's like he says it's like rhinoceroses running on my keyboard.
Click, click, click. Click, 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 click.
Do you do any fishing up there, Daniel?
No, I used to be an avid fisherman when I lived in northwestern Ontario, but I just got away from it. I don't have a boat, and
Okay. Because I see
I
you're
don't
holding up a
have
nice big fish there in your profile pic.
that. Those were the days when I used to fish. I miss it though. I love fishing. Maybe when I retire, I'll get back into it.
You done any fishing, Risto or Nikola?
Fishing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do sometimes, but it's not often. But I do sometimes. My wife and my wife's family has a cottage an hour away, so we'll go there for the summer, and then sometimes I'll throw the rod out, but not too
I
much.
feel too bad for the fish. I got to take the hook out of his mouth, and I was like, oh, never again, never again. It's too much trauma for me. It's like,
I get too bored with my ADD. Just maybe I should fish more, but I just want to go explore the lake, take a canoe out or something, and go do something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a lot more fun for me, too. Explore what's around the next bend, and it's fun. Yeah, I don't like being in water, but being on the water, I like it. I like the vibe anyway.
Yeah, for sure. That's the best.
My least favorite kind of water is snow. It looks
I
nice,
love
though.
it for Christmas. I love it for
Yeah,
Christmas,
it
of
looks
course, and
nice.
around that season. But that's it. Yeah.
It looks nice, but it's a pain when you're commuting by bike 45
yeah.
minutes, one each way. So, yeah, major pain. So
How's your wife, David?
she's good. I mean, she's still anti-Catholic, but keep praying. Pray harder. I guess that's my homework for you
Sure.
guys. Pray harder. But it's fine. Everything's good. We love each other. Phil says he thought fishing was just code for getting drunk, but I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Have you been ice fishing? No, we'll get off the fishing topic, but have you been ice fishing, Daniel?
Oh yes, I've ice fished. I mean, not lately, but yes, I ice fished. When we lived in northwestern Ontario, I don't know if you know where that is, but it's
Name
like
the
around
city.
Fort Francis.
No.
It's on the border of Minnesota, International Falls, Minnesota. Have you heard of that?
Really? Minnesota?
Yeah.
Really?
Ontario borders Minnesota too.
Up north?
Yeah.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Minnesota must suck.
Minnesota's like
Let's check it out. Minnesota. How do you spell that? Okay, I got it.
Miami.
Minnesota. Oh, I didn't know that the states went up that far north. So
Yeah.
known for its natural
Risa,
beauty.
I'm curious. How's your is anything new with your faith walk or anything? Church wise, faith wise, anything?
And nothing super new to report. We visited a few churches. To be honest, we kind of, we're church homeless still, and I've kind of not been doing much about that, but we visited a few recently, and it's difficult. We're trying to find a place for our kids that works for our kids. But like in the normal stream of things in the evangelical world, a lot of the bigger expressions don't really I don't really connect with a whole lot. So
You should
Are you
check
leaning
out Joel
towards-
Osteen. He's got a real cozy vibe about him in his church.
I'm sure I would love that. I just finished reading. I've been digging into C.S. Lewis quite a bit recently. I just finished reading his he's got a short book called The Abolition of Man, and that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. He's got a real nice way of conveying information in a digestible manner. Wow.
Well, and he
I
was,
read him.
No?
yeah, he lived in the 40s, and he was like, so educated into philosophy and literature, and like, so he understood like all these things that now have affected where we are today, and was an atheist for a bunch of years. So he just brings like this really interesting perspective. It's like you, David, when you're able to talk to your guest who are where you were. There's something about that.
Yeah. You should definitely read it, Nikola. Daniel, you've read C.S. Lewis, I would imagine?
Not much.
No?
You know what I wanted to ask you, David, because I know you're kind of a philosopher, is can you define what classic liberalism is in context with like the Catholic faith? Because so what they say is like the Protestants supposed to have a personal relationship with Christ,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I'm saying is a good thing. But they say like Americans in America, what is liberalism? I know the church is against liberalism, like liberalism in the sense of guys like John Locke, that type of classical liberalism.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on it, but my vague understanding is that it's got to do with like it's actually more conservative and libertarian than the liberals of today. That's one thing I understand. Like we had a liberal prime minister, one of my favorites, Laurier, the guy on the $5 bill up here. He was a liberal, classical liberal, and he's more conservative than Polyev. He's more conservative than Trump. He's more conservative than most conservatives today. Okay, by modern reckoning. So the classical liberals were conservative, socially conservative, I think. And they had an emphasis on, all the things that come with a liberal education, So I don't really have a firm grasp on it, but I know that it's good. I know that a lot of people today want to reclaim the word liberal, and they go back to the classical liberal philosophy. I think libertarian's too narrow. It has a lot of limitations, and it's not Catholic, and I don't think it fits very well with the Catholic thing. But there's a lot to libertarianism that I do embrace. I would be leaning more towards a classical liberal political view myself, and a lot of conservatives are embracing that label too. You guys have anything to say about that?
No comment.
Well, it's interesting.
this
Like
topic.
I'll tie it into the abolition of man. Lewis was he was talking about the moral philosophy, or moral law that's above all of us, and he mentions, because you mentioned libertarian, he says that old kind of Confucius mindset was, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was don't do to someone else what you wouldn't want them to do to you. So that's very kind of libertarian, don't harm someone else.
Golden rule,
I can
golden
wave
rule.
my fist around, but my right ends at your face is the common phrase that people use. But then he talks about the Christian ethic, from Jesus, which is more a positive action, which is do to others as you would have them do to you. So it goes a step further. It goes beyond that, the libertarian value of just, I won't mess with you. You don't mess with me. We're good. But then the Christian ethic goes beyond and says, I'm supposed to love and serve you.
Yeah. I just want to mention what AI told me about points of convergence between classical liberalism and the church. We've got human dignity and freedom. We've got subsidiarity. That's a very big point in Catholic political theory. Religious freedom and a market economy. While critical of unrestrained capitalism, the church acknowledges the value of private property and free markets when regulated for the common good. So yeah, this is there are obviously differences too. The church is against, sort of the individual autonomy. So in the church we have moral truth, but there's a strain of liberalism that would emphasize autonomy, everyone becomes their own God, their own judge. There's relativism that's in liberalism that we need to be cautious of, obviously, as Catholics, Christians. And then the common good versus individual rights, that's another thing that the Christians have to, we can't be classically liberal. We have to have more emphasis on the common good than might be in some strains of liberalism. So that's all I would say about that. But it's definitely a complicated subject when it comes to politics. I hate politics, so it's not something I really looked into, but I think about it every day because my wife's obsessed with politics. So,
your wife's like that. Christine Anderson? Remember her?
Oh yeah, Christina Anderson from Germany. Yeah, she met her. Yeah, and so my wife's big into right-wing politics and stuff like that, and always hating on the libtards, and I try to tell her not to hate people, but whatever.
What did your wife think of the German election, and did you get into it?
No, she hasn't mentioned that to me, so I don't know. Know. But I know if it doesn't go her way, she'll be complaining. But but a lot of it goes in one ear or the other because it's just I really don't care. I'm not deceived by the world into thinking that this leader or that leader is going to save me, So I don't get that excited,
Well,
What do you guys?
Hear that, David.
What do you guys think about Trump and how's he doing this time versus last time?
I honestly think Trump is fighting the deep state.
That's good.
If you are on the same page as me about what the deep state is.
Yeah, I am.
Are you?
Yeah. I think he is too. I mean, I think he's got his weaknesses, his problems, or whatever. But I think generally there's a lot of good that he's doing, and I think that he is being used by God, as all legitimate authorities are being used by God. But I see him more as, critical or something more biblical. Frankly, I've always seen Trump in politics as the president as a more biblical sort of vibe, where big things are happening, and I think there's divine intervention. Of course, he's flawed and human, very flawed, and I disagree with him about a lot of stuff. But I think that God's working, drawing with crooked lines as always. So that's how it feels to me. What do you boys think?
Well, I have a brother who agrees with you, David. My brother says that he thinks that Trump is on a divine mission. Honestly, I haven't really got into the topic with him, but he really thinks that. I'm not sure if I'm there, but anyway.
Yeah, I certainly don't see Trump as a savior or, frankly, even as much of a Christian, but God can still use him, And I hope he's Christian. He claims to be Christian. I hope he is somehow. It's not for me to judge, but my gut is he's not really pro-life. He's not really Christian. He's just, he's...
But like you said, David, God uses flawed vessels, whatever. God doesn't just use... God can use whoever he wants.
Yeah.
So to speak. You know what I'm saying? So he'll use a flawed person, if you want to call Trump flawed. Or, I guess we're all flawed, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think so. What do you think, Christopher?
Well, I think he seems like he's the fruit of our culture. We have a reality TV star, super rich real estate guy that's now the leader of the country, So as much as we want to critique that, that's very much just who we are as a culture, I think. Yeah. So we're getting ourselves for the leadership, and then, he might do some good stuff. He might do some bad stuff. When he was first elected, I feel like it exposed a little bit in my social circles how many people how politics was kind of their religion.
Yeah.
Because they would talk a lot about morals and everything, but then they totally switched on a dime to vote for someone who, if he was in the other party, they would never vote for him. They'd be like, oh, that's unchristian or whatever. But then now, I think this time around, I'm seeing people in my circles who are Christian, who are kind of freaking out about what's happening on the left side. And it's just, I think for all of us, like, politics is maybe our primary religion in a lot of ways.
Sure.
What do you guys think of this master-slave dialectic?
Yeah, I think about it a lot, and I think there's a lot of truth to it. Like a lot of things, it's should be taken with a grain of salt, and it's got limited application. But yeah, I think about that a lot. Even in my marriage, I think about that. You know what I mean? The dynamic. It's like, because I'm the one that has to do everything, so I have all the power because I'm the slave. Like I know how to fix everything. I know how to pay the bills. I know how to work. I know how to do everything. So that's the power of the slave. The slave has all the power. And then the tables turn. So I think about that all the time, even in work. Like I was thinking about that yesterday at work. It's like my boss is always asking me to do things, and I always do them. And it just occurs to me that I have power. I have power. I'm not one to gleefully abuse my power. I'm sure I would if I had legitimate scary power. But with the little power that I have, I'm aware of it. I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I think about that. Was that Nietzsche that came up with that?
I'm not sure, but I know I talked to people.
Or Hegel or Nietzsche? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right. Hegel.
Could have been.
Hegel was, and the Trump deal with the master slave. If you talk to a guy like Putin, or who's the master, who's the slave, and then the slave can become the master.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you think, Nikola? Are you falling asleep?
Huh? Did you say something?
Try.
I hate politics. Trump, I like him. I think he's all right and whatever, but I hate politics so much. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't really get involved in stuff.
I just want to say about Trump. The one thing I want to say about Trump is, I've always liked him. I still like him. I don't like a lot of the stuff he did, like with the vax and with Israel, whatever. Okay, whatever. But I like him, and I'm rewatching now The Apprentice, like the early seasons of The Apprentice. It's just, I like the guy. He is so consistent. He is so consistent in who he is, and you go back and watch any interview of him even before The Apprentice. He's so consistent. He is who he is, and I think he's smart. I do believe he's very smart. He's very capable. He works hard. There's a lot. There's a lot of good stuff, and I'm not one to see so much the negative in people anyway. So I see the positive, and he has a lot of positive. So yeah, I mean, I have always said that he's my favorite politician. Like, he's my favorite politician. Doesn't mean that that's saying a lot, because I don't like politicians, but he's charismatic. He's smart and handsome, I would say, but maybe less so as time goes by. But
would you say he's not an ideologue, or how do you pronounce it? Ideologue or ideologue? Whatever.
He's a pragmatist. I think he's a pragmatist. That's what I think.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't even know if I consider myself an ideologue. Do you think the Catholic is an ideologue, in some sense of the word?
I tend to be myself personally.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if I am one or not. I don't want to be one. I don't think it's good, but that's just how I feel.
I'm platonic in my thinking. I'm very platonic. Like, it's like top down, like idealistic, the forms and God, and everything flowing from God. So to me, that's idealistic. And so obviously, practically day to day, I have to have some pragmatism. So there's a balance of both. But some people are dreamers and thinkers, and other people are doers. I'm not really a doer, although I can do stuff. But so there's definitely some. I also am an escapist. I like the fantasy world. So it's not good. It's not Catholic, but I'm prone to that. So that's just something to be aware of for me. Like my proclivity.
Is that fantasy, David, or is that imagination? Is it like is it a phantasm, or is it imagination? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, the imagination is a dangerous thing, I think.
Oh yeah.
Hey David, how long were you solipsist? How long were you solipsist for?
Well, for an eternity, if solipsism were true, but it's not true. So just I don't know, a couple of months.
Okay, because I put myself there. I could probably do 2 minutes, and what a nightmare it is, right? I could probably, man. So I can't imagine months or whatever.
Yeah, it might have been weeks or a month or two.
Oh gosh, that's a nightmare.
I got Phil Gonzalez quoting Sid Barrett lyrics to me here. I got to give him a red love heart emoji for that one. So yeah, so when you guys think we're on a timed call here, we've got about half an hour left, and I'm hoping Phil will hop on, but he might be busy. Yeah, when it comes to the CVS podcast, because we're going to look back on it. A year's gone by, I haven't done it, but when you think about your experience on the show or watching other guests on the show, what's your main takeaway? What kind of memories do you have? Talk a little bit about highlights, stuff that you liked or whatever.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, whoever. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm mainly asking Phil, but he's not here, so I have to resort to you guys instead.
Got it.
I like the wide variety of guests you had, and the different. They were all searching, and they all had different ideas. It was nice to see a wide variety of people. I enjoyed that. David, your show seemed real to me.
Yeah. Your mic just sounds a little bit muffled, just a bit muffled, Daniel. I don't know if you can adjust that or if that's just the way it is.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
I just thought your show was real. It was, like some of these YouTube, podcasts or streams, or sometimes they're not real. And it's nice to see some real people.
Hey, I'm hoping Rebecca will hop on the live chat here. Rebecca from Bread of Life is here. One of my all-time favorite guests.
I remember. Hello, Rebecca.
Hop on the call.
Yeah, there's no way she's up to. Hey, David, yeah, let me tell you something about your show, man. You're too bad. You're just ahead of your time. So you're like 18 years ahead of your time.
Oh
So
yeah, what makes you say
that's the
that?
problem with it. Well, because what people are looking for on YouTube, they're not looking for it today, but they will be looking for it, like more of the real, like Daniel's talking about. You know what I mean? Now it's just like
Blood sports now.
yeah, that's gonna get old, and then it's gonna come something else, and then then they're gonna look for stuff like this, and then they're gonna find your channel when you're like 80 years old. Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. I mean, it's just look at the four of us in this conversation here on the live call here. It's like a pretty diverse set of people. I mean, on the map and on the the spectrum, different spectra. So, I mean, that's the beauty. That's always been my thing, is that people are fascinating, infinitely interesting.
You did a good job at respecting everybody and giving everybody a shot, treating them all fair, no matter who you had on.
Almost
That was
everybody.
pretty cool.
Almost everybody. There was that
Right,
one.
right.
There was that one
Overall.
UFO guy. I was just like, I was a bit rude with him. I think I was rude with a couple of people, but I mean, I'm often rude, but without trying to be, or without having ill will. Hey, Theodore Barrington's here. Cool. Yeah. So a few friends have stopped by.
I listened to the Sedevacantist ones, a couple of them from Stephen Heiner.
Oh yeah,
Boy,
yeah.
he was trying hard to convert you, boy. He was trying real hard.
How many times did he come on? Like 2 or 3 times, right? 2 or 3.
Yeah, 3 at least. Yeah, it was about 3. Yeah, he was trying hard.
It
was cool. It was cool. And he gave you some homework, and you actually did the homework, and you're like, I don't see nothing here. You know what I mean?
Thank God for Stephen Heiner. Thank God for Stephen Heiner, because if it weren't for him, I don't think I would have read the documents of Vatican II. Well, maybe eventually I would have. But wow, what a gift! I mean, Christopher, if you haven't read that yet, you should read the 16 documents.
Yeah, I haven't read the documents. I've read a little of the story, and it sounded very interesting.
Yeah.
There were a lot of. You said Vatican II?
Yeah.
There were a lot of Protestants there.
Yeah.
Dozens. There's a lot of everybody there.
Were there dozens or?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't counted them.
I could ask AI. Well, yeah. So
there were some. Can't remember. There were some noteworthy ones that I knew about. So.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I'm trying. I forget who it was that I was like, oh, he was there. Oh, that's super interesting.
Excuse me for the rhinos here.
David, do you
Do you guys
think
think the next pope is going to be American?
You're muffled again, Daniel. Keep that mic out of your pocket.
Do you think the next pope's going to be American?
I doubt it. I don't think so. Probably African or.
Have you heard of Cardinal O'Malley?
No.
I don't know if he's retired. Somebody had told me that he thinks the next pope's going to be American because he said the Catholic Church always seems to hitch their wagon to Caesar.
Caesar,
Do you
yeah.
believe that? Or?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, but yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always of the mindset when it comes to a new pope that I don't think about it, I don't worry about it, and I trust the Holy Spirit. Like, and that's as far as I go. I don't get into all the what ifs and looking at profiles and look at the resume, look at the track record. I don't care about that because God doesn't care about that either, right? There have been plenty of popes who were expected to behave one way and they behaved a completely different way, or they did things that weren't expected of them. So I see the Holy Spirit at work in the Catholic Church, obviously, and in the election of the popes. So it's like I expect the unexpected, and if someone is consistent before, during, and after their election as pope, that's fine too. But I just try to withhold judgment, and I see it as part of salvation history, right? So, read the Old Testament, look at the leaders in Judaism, and look at all the surprises you got in terms of good guys, bad guys, and complex characters that you don't know how to classify if they're good or bad, So it's the same thing for me with the popes. Although, with this new era with the incarnation, obviously Christianity is a fulfillment of Judaism, and it's different. It's superior to Judaism, obviously. But there's some commonalities, I think, in terms of the way God works with us, flawed humans. So that's the way I see it. So I don't worry too much about if he's going to come from America or Africa or whatever. It's always going to be interesting.
I would love to see a Chinese pope.
Yeah. Well, it's easy.
Yeah.
They just have to do that. Just kidding.
There you go.
Just kidding. Inappropriate humor. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get a new pope probably soon. Just watching that happen, and then also a new president of the LDS Church too. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's over 100.
Wow.
So those are two worlds I pay attention to. So it'll be interesting to see, and also two institutions that are wrestling with our modern situation, as we all are.
Yeah.
Risto, last I remember about you, Risto, you were like interested in, and you were talking to some LDS and some, right? Do you still do that?
Yeah. I'm actually now, I wouldn't say I'm seriously considering that as an option for myself, but I find the people to be lovely, and I enjoy meeting them and getting to know them and about where they're coming from. And and I've now actually this year I'm reading the Book of Mormon so that I can relate to my friends and understand where they're coming from.
No. Are there any specific denominations or faiths that interest you more than others?
Well, I mean, I would say Catholicism and Orthodoxy have been an interest for me. Lutheranism, and not that there's many around here, but Anabaptists are a real curious crew for me, because they, like we talked about our politics, Christianity relationship early on, they said, no, we're not, this isn't our nation. This isn't our place. We're not going to participate in the political process. So I find some of their takes pretty interesting, the Anabaptists.
Well, Christopher, what about, I'm going to jump back into politics real quick here.
Check your mic there, Daniel. It's muffled.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, what was that?
Like J.D. Vance, who converted to Catholicism, okay? There's something about J.D. Vance that I really like. And he was a Protestant that converted to Catholicism, but I see his Protestantism sort of dovetail into Catholicism, and he seems to be embracing both in a kind of a way that's it's kind of intriguing to me to listen to this guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I followed a few other channels while you were gone, David. Something had to fill the void, but they call it This Little Corner. It's an interesting group of people of different perspectives, kind of like your channel a little bit, but there's several Protestant people who converted to Orthodoxy in that sphere, and they've been talking a little bit about like, well, they'll convert to Orthodoxy, but they are going to bring some of their Protestant mindset. Orthodoxy in the United States will become more Protestant, and I think we could call it Protestant. It might be more appropriate to call it something even more foundational than Protestant. What led to probably Protestantism even happening, whatever that is, has affected, I think, most modern Christian expressions.
Renewal, reform, whatever.
Well, like the whole Erasmus, and 1500s. What was that?
Enlightenment stuff or no?
Yeah, that stuff. Back to the sources, kind of being a more critical eye on things.
Renaissance, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was raised Protestant, and it was a kind of a loose Christian upbringing, but I'm pretty sure that shapes how I deal with Catholicism. I mean, I take Catholicism as it is, or how I perceive it to be, and I think there's an objective, base to Catholicism, and then there's the subjective component where we're human and we have our lived experience, we have our conversion experience, we have how we were raised, we have periods where we were unbelievers, whatever. And that all comes into the subjective reality, and God was not frustrated when he created nature to be natural. So we have all of that naturally with God's blessing or permission. So it's not like we're just an objective robot in an objective Catholic world and we're just all doing the objective Catholic things. We're bringing color and we're bringing a mixture of good and evil with us, trying to sort out the good, And there is good, I say, even in the LDS. I mean, there's good there. So I have to admit that begrudgingly. But there's good everywhere. There's good everywhere to different degrees, individual by individual and group by group. But that's part of, like I said, with the Old Testament. It's a perfect example of how God works with us, and where sin abounds, grace abounds all the more, that sort of thing. Like, to me, that's the genius of God,
Right. Yeah, the story of history is like, what was that?
I was going to ask David if you can remember as a Protestant what he didn't like about Catholicism.
Well, when I was, the thing is, when I was a Protestant, I didn't know anything about Catholicism. But when I became an atheist, I hated Christ and all forms of Christianity. So I don't have any lived experience where I was Protestant, anti-Catholic Protestant. That's not part of my background at all.
Okay.
I was Protestant, didn't know anything else, and I just loved it. And then I was atheist, and I was just hateful towards God and religion generally, well, Christianity in particular. So yeah, I don't have that experience of being an anti-Catholic Protestant.
I became Protestant for 6 months and heard those anti-Catholic arguments and believed them, and then when I come to find out they were all misconceptions. So, but whatever was good and holy, though, me as a Protestant, whatever was good and holy, I kept and brought with me into the Catholic faith,
Well, Nikola, what about, it's a question I have for you then, is because were in Protestantism, this personal relationship with Jesus Christ, this kind of intrigues me because I think it's really important.
Yeah, of course.
And so what do you think about that, Nikola?
I think it's an amazing thing, and I think that's why God allowed me and to leave the church, because that, again, which was holy and good, so those pastors that taught me, that I listened to, that taught me how to be in a closer relationship with Christ, that was all good, and that was what I held on and brought to with me. So I believe that helped me a lot, that helped me a lot for sure. And then I wasn't Protestant for real long. It was like 6 months, 6 or 8 months or something, and that's it. But still, I was able to bring that goodness with me. That's what was so cool, Of course, as long as it's not a teaching that goes against the dogmas of the Catholic Church. But what I'm saying is it was stuff like you just mentioned, a personal relationship with Christ, even closer,
Nikola.
Fundamentals of Catholic dogma.
Recognize this? I was trying to find my shirt. I can't find my shirt. I was going to wear the shirt for you.
Nice. Yep. It's all right. You need a new one. I bought you that one was way too big, right? Would you like a medium instead of, or small? Extra small.
Triple X small.
Yeah.
That is what I would say. That is what I would say, Daniel, is I found so many beautiful and wonderful things so far, and I'll probably still continue to find it in Catholicism, in Orthodoxy. I wanna steal as much as I can, like to be open to that. And maybe one of these days, maybe one will hook me, and pull me in. I'm open to that, but yeah, there's no reason like where I see God's goodness in those things and God working amongst those people in history. Like I want to be able to enjoy that like you would enjoy a good taco.
Hey, Christopher, do me a favor. Just turn down your microphone just a little bit, because relative to everyone else, you're blasting loud. And
Oh, okay.
And then we need Daniel to unmuffle his mic just a little bit. Hey, it's my boyfriend, Phil Gonzalez. He just joined the call.
Well, and I gotta run, so it's good to see you guys.
Oh,
Hey, it's good seeing you, Christopher.
I have a family lunch appointment.
Okay.
I do have to run.
Okay. Love you
Nice seeing
lots,
you,
brother.
Risto.
Unity
Yeah,
of prayer.
brother.
Adios. Bye. You down with what?
Phil, is that you?
An FP natural family planning. Oh my God.
What's going on?
You sound good.
Okay, so who's your favorite prog rocker? Because I gotta know, because
He's talking to you, Phil.
I like some of it I don't like. But
Have you been listening, Daniel? Have you been listening to our? Oh, you have been. Okay, cool.
I'm listening to some prog, and I honestly like some of it. Some of it I don't like.
Yeah.
But I'm confused of what is prog.
Yeah.
So are the Beatles
Prog is life. The Beatles are proto-prog as far as I understand.
Okay.
Like Sgt. Pepper's era, or even like you would call Revolver, would be very prog. The Tomorrow Never Knows, backwards drums.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Beatles track. What about you, Nikola?
I know nothing about prog song.
You don't watch our progcast?
No. I tried. I fell asleep, so I just
So
stopped.
interesting.
It's riveting content.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Phil, you still Catholic or no?
Yeah.
Of course he is. He's more Catholic than all the rest of us combined, man. Yeah. Well, Phil's an interesting case because he goes to Orthodox church down the road and close with them. And
Which one, Phil?
Serbian.
Which Orthodox?
Serbian Orthodox. Yeah.
Oh, great.
You have
How do
any
you
up
like
there in Sault Ste. Marie, Dan?
There's the Ukrainian Byzantine rite.
Okay.
I guess
That's Catholic?
It's they hold allegiance to the Pope,
Okay.
but their liturgy is like the Serbian
Eastern.
liturgy, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, Eastern liturgy. Yeah,
St. Chrysostom's liturgy.
right. Yeah, that's sacred.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what is the teaching on that from Catholicism, that we can go to Orthodox and partake from the Eucharist and stuff? Because I don't know.
The Catholic allows it, but the Orthodox, they may not allow it. Like, I think you would need to sort of talk to their priest, because they generally frown upon it. I think that's what my wife tells me. I don't. She might be biased. But I've taken communion in the Orthodox Church.
It's not smiled upon by the community.
No, it's not. They're very antagonistic. That's in my experience. I don't want to speak for all of them. I've met some lovely people, obviously. But yeah, beautiful liturgy, good food.
Yeah.
Good people. My problem with Eastern Orthodox and with all the Eastern Catholics is that is too much closed, culturally closed, and too much gossip. Everyone's monitoring each other, and it's just too much like a small village mentality. Everyone's minding each other's business all the time. That's my experience. So I like the ethnic communities. I do like them, but I like one of the reasons I'm pro-immigration is I like mixing up the ethnicities so that no one dominates. I mean, I'm a bit turned off like when I go to a strong ethnic church and they're all thinking the same way and they're all judging each other and those outside with a really judgmental thing. Not to come down too negative, but that is a big turnoff for me.
Riveting content, as always.
Okay.
So, Anyway,
Yeah, I
Phil,
found that a bit in,
That's a hot take right there. Oh my goodness.
why is it? Is that the stereotype?
I don't know.
What were you gonna say, Daniel?
I was one. I like the Ukrainian liturgy or the Saint John Chrysostom, but I did leave the Ukrainian church because of this Ukrainian conflict. The nationalism at the Ukrainian church was too much for me to take. I didn't want to get involved in that,
Yeah,
and so it was. I know what you're talking about, David, and I'm not denigrating it. I was just uncomfortable, so I didn't go to the liturgy anymore.
I personally enjoy people who embrace their ethnicity and they just, their culture is something that they celebrate.
yeah.
It's really something I like. They have their own dances, they have their own music, they have their own.
Food.
I really like that.
Yeah.
See, I'm Albanian, so I have that, right?
Oh yeah,
But the problem that happens sometimes is they'll put that first over everything, even over God. So it gets pretty, like, there's a lot of Albanians that are just culturally Catholic and they don't know none of the teachings and stuff. So that's where I came from. I was a Catholic my whole life and knew nothing about it. But we did have the cross in our house. We did have statues of Mary. We did do the sign of the cross and went to church Easter and Christmas, and that was it. So that's the thing I don't like about it. But I do love, of course, our dances, our food, our being Albanian. I love all that.
And most of all, you love those tasty Albanian cigarettes, right?
Yeah. Hey,
those menthol.
No, non-menthol. Yeah. Yeah.
I think menthol is illegal in Canada now. I think it's
Really?
illegal. Yeah.
Wow.
Because our
Oh,
government.
really? They don't have cameos anymore. Remember cameos?
Yeah. Well, my wife used to smoke the ultra thin, slim ones, like the menthol, like just like tiny thin cigarettes, long, and she had a hard time. I'm pretty sure they've been made illegal now. Like, and even flavorings, like even I have friends who vape and they're having problems getting flavors for their vape because I guess the government thinks it encourages children or entices children to start a bad habit.
Oh,
Why are you peddling this stuff if you know it's not good? I mean, just stop peddling it, But anyway,
yeah.
it is what it is. What's Phil saying? I can't hear Phil. It's mute. It's muted. It's muted. I want to hear the riveting content. Unmute yourself, Phil. Unmute. Now you're unmuted. You're remaining muted on purpose just to be silly. Okay, now I can't see you. Anyway, so it looks like the call will end soon. What else do people want to talk about? Nikola, it's your show because you're the headliner on the on the paperwork. So talk to me about what's on your mind with Christ and his church.
Oh man, I guess one thought I could say that popped in my head earlier, even when Risto was on, I was just like, gosh, man, what a how lost we can feel at times, right? And what a horrible Christian I am, and it's just like sometimes you could get caught walking around and thinking, am I in the faith or not? But like, I was just like, that's one blessing that we have as being Catholics. It's like, but I could know if I'm in God's grace or not, right? Not by my own thinking, but what the church tells me. And it's just so nice to have that safety net, to know that I'm in the hospital at least still. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's like it's like I don't know what I would do without that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I could know I'm in God's grace or I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't have to discern it on my own, what my heart or what am I thinking at the time or what are my works looking like, or I could just know by what the church tells me and if I've done this or not. It's like, thank God, right?
Oh, yeah.
Does that make you free? Does that make you free, Nikola? You get the sense of freedom?
Yeah, for sure. And it keeps me in perspective on how far I am from being a saint, right? And how bad I want to be a saint, but at least again, I'm in the hospital, how David has worded it before. It's like I'm in the hospital already waiting, for this, or getting the surgery, or waiting for the surgery at least. And that for sure is it makes me feel free. It makes me feel like I'm in Christ's arms,
Yeah, it's so humbling. It's so humbling. Like, you need humility, I think, to choose to be an active member of the church. I think you need humility, moment to moment, to be Christian, period. And the church, I think, one of the strengths of the church, like you emphasized, is that it just naturally humbles us all the time. Or that's my experience anyway. I'm constantly being humbled by the church because it's so easy. And I often joke with Protestants about cheap grace, or with Sedevacantists about cheap grace, because that's the sort of reputation we have in the Catholic Church, is that grace is cheap, or that we could tend to treat it as though it were cheap. But the fact that it's so easy to get salvation through Christ and His Church, that in itself is humbling, because we have to ask ourselves, why are we not living it? Like, why are we only giving lip service? Why are we, checking the easy check boxes, and then the other things that are maybe optional, we're not spending the energy or the time. That's what I live with every day as a Catholic. It's very humbling, because you walk into the confessional and you can get absolution. It's so easy, and yet it shows our weakness, and it shows how selfish we are. I speak for myself, that we keep sinning, or at least I do. So I think it's like what I always say about God is He likes to give people a lot of rope to hang themselves with. So it's like a lot of the saints.
Well, it's kind of like that. That's why I like Nietzsche. And I like Nietzsche because, not because I like his ideology, but I like Nietzsche because Nietzsche says, look, this is what Nietzsche said. There was only one Christian, and he died on the cross. Okay, now.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And I think to myself, well, how do I become like that Christian who died on the cross? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we literally have to die to self and live unto Christ. We have to be Christ. So that is the mission. That is the goal. So,
David, you've said this many times, but gosh, reading any saint story, it does the same thing. Everyone on more or less on the spectrum, but it does the same thing. It melts my heart, and I'm like, wow. And then I'm like, man, how I'm not a saint, right? It just puts me into perspective, right? But it inspires me so much. Any one of them, and I haven't even read that many, right?
Yeah.
But it's the ones I have. It's just like, wow. So it's like, as I'm talking to myself right now, I would recommend anybody just read a story of the saint and how they lived and died for Christ, and what they did was amazing stuff, man.
Yeah.
Really, really.
Even the daily readings, like I get a little subscription for the little daily readings of the Mass, and in the back there's always a little blurb about the saint of the day, if there is one for that day. Usually there is, and just that little paragraph can blow your mind,
Yep.
We are running out of time. Does anyone want to continue, or we should wrap it up? What does Phil have to say? You're muted right now, Phil.
Yo.
Yo. You want to wrap it up, or you want to come and talk?
It's all right.
Okay. So I'll see you boys. If I see you on the next Proclamation podcast, that would be fun. I'll definitely see you, Phil. It's Sid Barrett month. Thanks for hanging out. God bless you. I love you, and we'll talk very soon.
Have a blessed Ash Wednesday, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, same to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
God bless. Have a good one.
God bless you. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.